What's up, everybody? This is the Dating is Hard podcast. I'm your host, Joe Welke. You can find out everything you need to about the show on our website, on the website for the podcast, datingishardcomedy.com. You can follow the Instagram at datingishardcomedy. You can follow me on Instagram at Joe Welke. You can see all of my shows and circus training and all the crazy shit that I'm up to. If you want to do that, you can also come to the live show. The live show is every fourth Wednesday at Pack Theater at 9:30, which is a by donation theater. That means if you can spare some money and donate it to Pack, it helps the theater keep going. But if not, you're still invited to come and watch the best comedy game show in Los Angeles on a Wednesday night at 9:30. You don't get any more descriptive than that, do you? So many qualifiers for that. Anyway, today on the podcast, I got a little bit of a weird situation here. So I've been on dating apps, seeing if people want to come on to the old podcast and chat about their views and musings and opinions on dating, share some stories, etc. And I went on a vacation a little while ago, and this girl actually found me on vacation. It was we're both from LA. We both went to the same vacation, came back, and she was like, "Hey, I recognize you from this weekend." I was like, "Oh, really? What? What does that mean?" So you're going to hear a little bit more about that little crazy story there. And you're going to also be a bit perplexed, as I was. So I was in talking with this young lady. I didn't understand what her stance was on dating and dating apps because I don't know. It seems like she was a little jaded, a little cynical, a little not willing to even want to meet up with people. So we get into a little discussion about that. And I hope you guys enjoy. This is my chat with Amanda. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of the Dating is Hard podcast. And as you guys know, I've been on my weird little experiment meeting people through dating apps, trying to talk to as many completely random people as possible. And today we got somebody that is definitely random, not as random as some, but so for those of you guys who don't know, don't follow me on Instagram at least, or Facebook or something. A little while ago, I went on a little weekend vacation to the Taco Bell hotel that was open for one weekend. And I was on the old Bumble and Tinder stuff there. And lo and behold, I got a match with a lady that recognized me from the Taco Bell hotel. I kind of had like an infamous photo that I took while there. And I got, I guess, a little bit of recognition for it, at least in her friend group or something. But today on the podcast, I have Amanda. Amanda, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Thanks for doing this. I think I need to provide a little bit of context to that fucking Taco Bell story. So at the Taco Bell hotel, they had these little sauce packet pillows that look like the Taco Bell sauce packets, and I took a picture where I was wearing nothing, and the only thing that was covering me was basically that sauce packet pillow, just covering my dick. And I posted it, and Amanda's one of the people that apparently saw it on Instagram, following the hashtag. What was your impression of that?
I took the same picture.
Yeah, that was the thing where I feel like after I posted mine, I saw quite a few other people post theirs. I didn't see yours because I think that you kept yours private or something. Or
I don't have hashtags.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yes, I've been shadow banned from Instagram. Everyone who's listening to this sad life. Yeah, so it just ended up in my story for my followers to look at.
Did they enjoy it? Did you get any DM slides about like, oh yeah, I'll put some fucking sauce between your legs?
I did actually. I had a lot of responses. All my friends reposted it actually, but I got a lot of responses from all of my guy friends and guy followers that I do not know.
Oh, guy followers. Dude, Instagram is so weird like that, where there's people that you only strictly know through Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, I guess that we're going to be friends now because you follow me or whatever.
Yeah, I have like an inbox full of people I've never met, and then a separate one for people that I will never speak to but continue to message me as well.
Man, so they just like slide in the DMs, just like, oh, nice picture, like, oh, looking hot today.
I have one who's like been going for years, I feel like, but I've never responded to a single message, but he responds to almost every story. And so it's just like scrolls of messages from him.
Really? For years, and you've never once responded?
I would say like a year because I'm on and off. But yeah, like I was showing my friend because I'm like, do you want to see something really funny? Look at this guy. Like, talk about dedication.
Yeah. Must be like, oh my God, this is the girl. I wonder, do you ever wonder how many other people he's doing that to? Or if that's just like his day?
Yeah, well, I imagine if he doesn't even talk to me and that's how bad it is, like, I'm afraid to see if someone does respond to him what he's like.
Yeah, or if they responded once.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, I have a chance now.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
Well, I mean, they always say you gotta shoot your shot or whatever.
Yeah, I guess. So obviously not working here, but hopefully with someone.
Yeah. So we met, or we started talking through Bumble, and yeah, because I remember the first message that you sent me was like,
I saw you this weekend.
I saw you this weekend, and I was like, oh
Super
fuck,
creepy.
where did you see me? Like, oh, the Taco Bell. Oh, you must be a fucking rad ass person if you're going to the Taco Bell pop-up hotel.
Obviously.
So, how long have you been on Bumble?
Ooh, I don't even know. I've used it on and off. I don't think I've met a person on there probably for like 3 or 4 years.
So why? What?
Yeah, I told you I don't like. I go on there for just entertainment purposes and like match some people. I'll talk for like a few days, maybe weeks, and then usually delete it and then just disappear off the face of the earth and then restart the process. It's not like I'm actively looking for my soulmate on Bumble.
Yeah, so you just don't meet up with people. This is a rarity that you're like, yeah, sure, I'll come do a podcast.
Yeah. Like you said, it's because I recognized you from somewhere else. And so if there wasn't that, I probably wouldn't have shown up.
Well, as I've learned, that's the thing with you where you're just... We were talking earlier, we met like an hour ago, and we were talking about how you're constantly late, and if you are like more than 10 minutes late already on your trajectory, you're like, fuck it, I might as well just not go.
Yes, and for anyone who's listening who knows me, you're probably like, fuck yeah, like we've already experienced it. But it is true. I'm late for everything, and I'm the biggest flake in the world. I'm sorry.
Has it always been like that?
Yeah.
Does that ever become a problem for you when it comes to dating?
I mean, not for me personally, but I'm sure for the people.
For the other, not for me, but
I mean, it's fine for me.
The person whose time I'm wasting, definitely.
Yeah, like, I had this.
Such a fucking piece of shit.
I know. I had this guy I was going on a date with, and it was like 5 minutes before the date, and my friend was just, I mean, she was going to get married in a few weeks, and she was just, like, obviously at a point where she needed to call it off. But she called me drunk and was just talking to me about how they had a fight. And I'm like, I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity and tell the guy that I'm going to deal with you because you're my priority. But I'm really not going to. I just don't want to go.
Oh, my God, dude.
And so I flaked on him. But, I mean, she did call for a wedding, so I guess it helped in whatever way. But
so you did actually go meet with your friend?
No, I just talked to her on the phone for like 5
Oh
minutes.
my God, dude. What is...
Yeah, and the guy still tries to go out with me, and that was...
To this day?
That was 2 years ago, and I've talked to this guy for like 3 years.
And you've never once gone out with him?
Nope.
Why not?
I don't want to.
Like, what? I don't understand why you're on dating apps if you're like, I don't want to meet with anybody. I'm not trying to do anything.
I think because, like, I'll have moments where I'm like, I'm gonna really give it a shot and try, but then the next day I'm just like, fuck it. Like, I'm over it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, because, like, yeah, like, you go in with good intentions, but if you look at my account now, it's like I have some psychopath who messages me, like, 5 times a day who's like, oh, if you just don't want to hang out with me, then just say that. Just unmatch me. Like, it's unfair that you just don't return my messages. I'm like, it's been, like, 2 hours.
Yeah.
So it's a lot because it's like, yeah, I'm sure there's someone good on there, but then there are these fucking assholes who just blow up your messages all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's definitely like a lot of that going on because from what I hear, just I had somebody on a couple episodes ago that was like, there's just thousands of guys waiting for you to reply or like swipe right, or it's just got to be overwhelming.
Yeah. And I know for, like, back in the day, like, I only used OkCupid, and there's, like, no filter system, at least there wasn't at the time.
Yeah.
Anyone could message you, and that was overwhelming because I'm like, holy fuck, like, I don't know what made you think that, like, that was cool, but, like, please never talk to me again.
So which ones are you using now? Just Bumble, or are you on any other ones?
I think that I have a Tinder account. I don't use it, though. I think it's
Yeah.
just there. Because I usually make them both at once and then either use one or the other, but not both.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Tinder's usually if I'm, like, planning on going somewhere, and my friend and I will, like, make a joke of it to, like, collect guys in the city we're going to. We'll never meet up with, but they...
Just like see who gets the most matches or something.
Well, I guess I should say I don't meet up with them. She's, like, notorious for, she'll do these, like, well, they used to only be $9.99 to change your location on Tinder, but now it's $19.99, so she's, like, running low on guys in other countries, but she would switch her locations to different countries and find a guy and, like, talk to them, and a few of them actually came out here to see her.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and they're, like, fucking crazy. But then she has, like, another guy she's been talking to for, like, a year and a half, and he supposedly is coming out here next month to see her.
They can't be coming. Are they coming out specifically to see her?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. Good. Is she like mega hot or something?
She's attractive, but these guys they're fucking crazy.
Dude, I can't imagine. Like, sometimes, like, I live in Glendale, and I hear people are like, yeah, I live in fucking West Covina. I'm like, nah, you're done. You know? There was a while where I was getting matched with people that lived in, like, Redondo Beach. It's like, what is your mile radius? It's like an hour and a half drive away. Like, is this really going to work, you know?
Some guy that I used to see, he had just got out of a marriage, and he had, I think, Tinder. He had the max radius. He would drive, like, he lived up in, I want to say, like, Pismo area, but he would go down to Santa Barbara. He would go anywhere.
Good Lord.
To find a girl. Like,
just...
you are that desperate.
Yeah, how desperate do you need to be doing that? You know, that's just, like, such a waste of time. And, like, it might not even work. You're driving probably, like, 2 hours, and it's just like, yeah, I wasn't really feeling it from any perspective, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Do you ever do that?
I do that if they're, like, 10 minutes away.
Flake hardcore.
Yeah.
Fuck all of that.
The excuses I've come up with, too, oh my gosh, they're so bad.
Like what?
Oh, God. This is really bad. Like, I've killed relatives. I may or may not have killed my dad a few times.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, like...
So I can't, sorry, my dad died today.
Like, I'm just having a really rough week. Like, my dad just died. And so I don't think I'm, like, emotionally in a place to go out. Or actually, yeah, I used that on one guy in particular, but I was just like, I just felt like he was trying to play games with me, and so I just didn't want him to be like have the upper hand and be like, "Oh, I fucking played this girl." So I was like, you know what? You're not even be able to tell this story to anyone because you're gonna feel like a piece of shit now for doing it. So I was like, my dad just died, you asshole.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, now he's nice to me, but
So wait, how many of these people do you still talk to? Because every one of these, you're like, yeah, he still talks to me. We've been talking for like 3 years.
I wouldn't say like actively talking, but like on occasion they'll just like respond to something on Instagram or text me and just be like, or like, oh, I'm so sad we never got that second date. I'm like, bro, it's been 2 years. Like, it's still not fucking happening. But yeah.
Hoping that, just praying to God that you had a change of heart.
Yeah. Like, today's the day. It's gonna happen. Like, oh, you know what? Now that you messaged me, I just realized that, like, it's gonna happen now. Like, all of a sudden. Like, I'm ready.
Good God.
Yeah.
You're such a heartbreaker, dude. That's just so... getting these guys' hopes up. Well, not really, because they're just following you on Instagram, but...
There's literally no hope, though. And, like, these guys, like, I would tell them, like, one, I just gotten out of, like, something with someone else. And even if I didn't, it would still be a no, but I was trying to be nice. And I'm like, I just got out of something. I'm emotionally not looking for anything. And he's like, oh, let's go on a date then. I'm like, what the fuck? I just said no.
Yeah.
So, like, I try to be nice and just, like friend zone them kindly, but also not want to be their friends, and then they still just pursue it. And at that point, I'm just like, look, you're doing it to yourself, and I don't feel bad for you at that point.
Yeah. I mean, there comes a point where it's just like, dude, you've been messaging this person for 2 years. They haven't responded. It's not happening.
Yeah.
But, you know, persistence is excellence, I guess. I don't know. I've never done that. Maybe I should try it. Who knows? Maybe it works for somebody at some point, you know?
I've seen some stuff online of, like, people's screenshots of, like, their inbox, and, like, this guy, apparently, it could have been fake, had messaged this girl for, like, every single year, like, on the mark, and just, like, consistency on that. It's like, you're dedicated.
Yeah.
And, like, I hope she went on a date with you or blocked you. I don't know. One of the two.
So have you ever met anybody, like, promising from dating apps? It doesn't seem like you got a lot of faith in them, or...
No. No. I think that, like, maybe I go in it with, like, I think that sometimes I'm attracted to certain people, that, like, I am, like, yeah, like, I'm not looking for anything with you in particular. And so also, like, people that maybe I won't feel bad if it, like, goes bad, or I'm just like, you look like a shitty person, so I'm not gonna feel bad if I treat you like shit.
Oh my God, dude. That's so fucking mean and brutal.
I know.
Do you, like... So, you're on dating apps.
Mm-hmm.
For, let's say... From what we were talking about earlier, it's like you're kind of like me, where you're on them for like a week or two, and then it's just like, this is just so ugh, and then you delete them. But you just don't meet anybody.
Mm-mm. The last person I met, I think it was on Tinder. It was this guy maybe 2 years ago. I think it's been 2 years now since I met him. But yeah, I met him on there, and it was like something where I was talking to him on Tinder, and we had like a few conversations, and then I just never responded. And then like a month and a half later, it was like New Year's Day, and I went through all my messages and just messaged everyone in my inbox and was like, so when are we hanging out? And he was like, oh, whenever. And then I was like, oh, no, I was serious. He's like, wait, what? I like haven't even talked to you in like a month and a half. And I'm like, let's hang out. And he's like, okay, I guess, whatever. So yeah, like I met him, but he was the last one, and that's been a while.
So how do you meet people? Do you just not date at all, or you're just hoping for organic kind of like friends, or just meeting somebody in real life?
The last guy, like, not that we were like together, but we were like on and off, and I met him on Instagram.
How? What?
Yeah.
How's that happen? Because you're
Um,
shadow banned. You
yeah.
can't use hashtags
No,
anymore.
I mean, that's a recent thing. But yeah, so it was like a year ago, and I was coming back from like Mammoth or something, and this guy. Well, okay, so the guy before him I met through my friend. And so one time my friend was on Snapchat and looking at this guy, and his name was clearly on there. It's Snapchat, like it tells you their name. And then she looks at it and she calls him by a different name altogether. She's like, oh, this is so and so. And so it was like a running joke. So this guy ended up being called that as a nickname for the entire course of knowing him. So then when I'm on Instagram later after that had ended and driving back, I see that name, but like someone else, like a new follower. And I obviously, because I'm just like, oh, that's hilarious. It's like you thought this guy into existence. And so I was immediately just like, oh, funny, let's go for this one because like his name obviously works. So we already have it in rotation anyways. And so I was like, kind of like we were liking each other's stuff back and forth, whatever, that's normal. And then one day I just was like, I'm just going to go for it. So I started like messaging him and then we just started talking and then we hung out and then we were just like glued to each other since.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so it kind of just worked out for us that we live close enough to each other, but that doesn't happen a lot on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't think so. Like, there have been people that So I am on Bumble, or I was. Well, I actually kind of deleted the profiles the last couple days because I gotta get more guys on here. I gotta
Switch
get more
your
dudes.
settings.
Yeah, because right now it's just like a bunch of women, and it's like I need some variety. But so I deleted them, but I saw people that have like dating blogs and stuff, and it's like, hey, follow my Instagram, do all this shit. So I would go to their Instagram and be like, hey, or their dating blog website and just message them and be like, hey, I actually am having a podcast if you want to talk about your blog or whatever. And just you never hear back from those people. So I don't know. And also a lot of people on Bumble and Tinder, a lot of their profiles will just be like, oh, I'm never on here, follow my Instagram, which is just like a ploy to get more followers, obviously. But hearing stories like yours makes you really wonder, like, oh, is it out there for everybody? How long did you guys last your on and off thing?
I don't even know, like officially. I think it's complicated, but
Is it still going on?
no, no, it's not.
Well, how long ago was it?
Yeah, I think it's like probably like we cut ties in like March and then I just like disappear and come back and disappear and come back, but more like we'll talk for a few days and everything will be normal and then I'll just disappear again. And it's like been an ongoing process, so we're kind of just like, I don't know what the time frame would be. We've known each other for a year, but it's been like very on and off.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it. When was the last time you saw him? Was that March?
No, so the last time I had seen him was in March, and then I was like up in Canada for like 4th of July or something, and I kept
That's the least American thing that you could possibly do.
every year, every single year I celebrate hard in another country. But yeah, so I was up there and just kept seeing his name everywhere. Even my service provider on my phone was his name. And I'm just like, what the fuck is the universe telling me? Because I hadn't blocked at that point on everything. And I was just like, I'm done. But then it's like everywhere. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to message him and just see what's up. Because obviously the universe wants it.
Yeah.
So I started talking to him. And then I came home and we hung out. And we hung out a few times after that. And it was super fucking awkward.
Yeah?
Yeah, because we were just like friends, or trying to be.
So like, who are, what is the type of person that you typically go for? Because it sounds like you don't want to be dating anybody. Like you're just only on
Just myself.
dating apps just to be like, whatever, fuck it, I'm bored. And I want to look at people and make plans with them and then not show up.
Yeah, like it's interesting you ask that, because what do I want? Because apparently not to date anyone. I'm just going to be with myself, I think, is the moral of the story. Like, my friend and I have this whole plan to get married to each other and adopt a ton of really ugly dogs, and that's our future.
Do you have one of those plans where it's like, if we're not married by X age...
It's 35.
It's 35. Yeah, it's always 35.
It's low. It's a low number for this day and age. So we are really committing to this family of dogs. Yeah, it's almost there. But yeah.
Like, what do you look for in a mate?
A mate.
In an SO. Let's be politically correct. In a significant other.
Yeah, right. I don't know. It depends on the person. I think that it might just be dating culture in LA because people have told me that it's not like this elsewhere. But I think that looking for people who don't play games. But I think because I tend to go a few years younger, I've also heard that that's the issue. Then I'll be like, oh, like, this guy's great. He's, like, in the dental program at USC. But then it's, like, he's also in a fraternity and has that typical, like, frat guy attitude. And so that one I was blindsided by because I thought I was, like, going into something great. And I'm like, oh, I could potentially be into this. But then I have that shitty personality. And then it's like, well, fuck, I guess whatever at this point. So it's not like I enter these things with, like, terrible intentions. It's just, like, there always seems to be, like, one major character flaw with all of them where I'm just like, whatever. Like, I did what I could.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, once you get, like, that one major thing and that's all you can hone in on, it's kind of like all of the other good stuff dissipates and it's just like, oh, I guess you're always late.
I feel attacked.
A little shot at Amanda
I feel attacked. Yeah, no, it's true. Like, the last guy, like, I think because I'm, like, well trained in expressing myself, what I feel, like, all of my emotions, like, making sense out of everything because of, like, my schooling and everything. And so for him, he's so emotionally void. And so it's like at the end of the day, I'd always be like, well, at least I'm not a fucking robot. It's like anytime I wanted something out of him and he was just not. And I'm like maybe you don't have the capacity to communicate that well, but I'm just like, fuck, like everything would come back to that where I'm like, Jesus, you're a fucking robot. I can't fucking talk to you.
You sound like a miserable person to be in a relationship with. You're like, I'm always late, I'll flake on you, and then when I am dating you, I'm just going to insult you. And that's... You're shaking your head yes? What the fuck?
No, I'm not like, okay, it's like, I'm not like flaky usually on people once I know them and everything. I think it's just like you had mentioned in other podcasts, it's like the feeling that you don't owe these people anything because it's just a dating app. And so I think like most people, even if I'm late, like for my friends, it's like they at that point know I'm going to be late anyways, but I'm still going to show up for them. It's just like I think that I should make that clear that I'm not consistently like that as a human being, everyone. It's just for certain people. No one's going to want to be my friend anymore.
Oh my God, everybody's want to be your friend. You got all these DM slides on Instagram.
They're all going to hear it and be like, were you talking about me because I like that?
Were you talking? You thought you were just going to get like 45,000 messages. Like, was that about me? And you can just say yes to all of them.
Yes, it was, whoever you are.
Oh my God. So when was the last good first date that you've been on? What happened? How did you meet the person? Etc. Where'd you go? What'd you do?
Let me go through like the database right now. Think about this. I can think of a really funny first date.
All right, yeah, go for that.
Oh wait, I can think of a few. I forgot about another one. Okay, so I had this first date and only date with this guy. We call him Scorpio because he's a Scorpio. And
wow, that's very creative of you.
I know. We are very clever with our naming system.
For everyone listening, my code name apparently is just Taco Bell.
Yeah, it's not like guy, boy, just Taco Bell. Yeah, we have a lot of really funny names in the system. There's like nice
Scorpio, hilarious.
Scorpio, nice guy. Ooh, who else is there? I'm drawing blanks on this one.
What happened with Scorpio?
Oh yeah, him. Anyway, so he looks like he's like a serial killer. I actually found him on Bumble, and so I went on a date with him. He looks batshit crazy, and till this day, since I stalk his Instagram, still 3 years later.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Little fucking role reversal here from Amanda. You're sliding in his DMs. She's like, oh, wow, that looks so cool.
No, I just happen to be like practically employed by the FBI. They don't know it though, but I'm like an expert at finding people on the internet with no information, names included. But anyway, so he still looks crazy. But anyway, so we went on a date. We went to this bar, but it was just more so funny. Like the stuff that was happening was just like, it was so funny because it was happening like on our first date where there's already like tension. So like I was sitting at a bar and he was sitting next to me and some drunk guy like literally just came up and sat on me like I was invisible, and I'm just like, you're
like sat on your lap?
Literally just sat on me.
Oh my God.
He is sitting next to me like, what the fuck is happening? And I'm like, why is this occurring?
Guy?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this is my daddy here. Don't mind him. Like, I don't know what the fuck was happening, but then like it was so funny that it kind of like lightened the mood. And then like we're sitting outside on a patio and this super blacked out drunk old guy comes out and like starts crying to us, literally tears and all, about like how terrible Trump is and everything. He's like crying and we're both just like, oh Jesus. And I'm sitting here like with my hair down trying not to laugh, and he just keeps looking at me. He's like, are you gonna help me? And I'm like, oh my God, I can't with this guy. But yeah, I think like the date itself was made so much better because all this weird shit kept happening.
So why didn't you go out with him again?
Oh my God. I don't really understand what occurred with that, where it was something like, yeah, we never made sense out of what happened because he was like all about it and then like all of a sudden just ghosted me. He was like,
taste of your own medicine.
yeah, I mean, I like it though, so it's fine. But
guys, if you're listening, the key to Amanda's heart is to fucking be cold as ice and just ghost her out of nowhere.
Disappear. Oh, I have a story about that actually. But anyway, so yeah, he was like all about it for like the next week, and then he was like, oh, something happened to like my brother in Florida and like I have to go deal with that. I just can't date, like let's be friends. And I'm like, okay, buddy.
This is fucking the most taste of your own medicine.
I was like, okay, yeah.
Oh really? Well, my brother just fucking died.
Well, my brother died too. Now what? I don't want to date you either, buddy. Yeah, and so it was just a lot of stuff where I think just like lurking on his account, it looked like he had just got out of a relationship anyways. And I think that maybe I had some red flags that went off with him where it's like, I think right after I had like met him and everything, like I went on like my Bumble and like redid everything, put all these new pictures on. Like I was like, oh, gotta find new merchandise. Like you're not good enough.
Oh my God, dude. You're so
like
harsh.
That was like my perspective on like maybe because right when I had done that, like the day of, he deleted his Bumble completely. So I think that.
Well, how do you know he didn't just unmatch you?
Because the message was still there. Like when people delete it, their messages are still there. Where if they unmatch you, they disappear. Yeah. So I guess maybe that just opened a lot of things.
Wait, so am I still on your thing?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it.
Oh, no. I don't know, because I've heard from people like that since I deleted it, they're like, hey, am I still doing the podcast? You're not on my Bumble anymore.
I think that's how it works because I have people that show up as deleted and they're still there.
That's
So
really
I don't
bizarre.
know. But yeah, so I don't know what happened with him.
I think he unmatched you. Wait, no, never mind. What am I talking about?
Oh my
Who
God.
knows?
Oh my God.
Would you go out with him again if he just like slid in your DMs right now? And he was like, hey, I know it was like 3 years ago or whatever.
But I realized I made a mistake. No, because now looking at him, I'm like, wow, I really did just get you at your peak because it
Oh,
looks
it's all
like,
been downhill.
yeah,
Oh, poor Scorpio.
I know.
That sucks. Yeah, we're going to get to the bottom of this. Am I still showing up on Bumble or not? Because I deleted my account,
Yeah,
I think, yesterday.
you're
I'm still
right
there?
here. The ones, I ran out of data, so it's moving super slow, but the ones that get deleted are on the bottom.
Oh, wow. That's really... I had no idea. Oh, there you go. So Scorpio deleted his profile.
Yeah, and then ghosted me. And it's been 3 years.
Your heart has been yearning ever since.
Yeah. I'm still waiting. Like, I've been waiting this whole time. That's why I don't actively date and look for dates, because I just think he's going to call me. Like, one of these days, it's going to happen.
One of these days.
Yep.
I feel like if he did call you, you'd be like, what the fuck? It's been 3 years. Get the hell out of
Yeah.
here, Scorpio.
Right.
I'm a Scorpio, too.
Really?
Yeah, it really bites me in the ass a lot, apparently.
Me too, though.
Are you a Scorpio?
Yeah.
Dude, I've been... There have been times where I've been on dating apps and I've been talking to a girl and it's just like good chatting, and then they'll be like, so what's your sign? And I'll say Scorpio, and then they'll just unmatch me.
Yeah.
Or they'll be more blatantly just like, oh, I can't go out with you.
Yeah.
I thought it was a joke at first.
A guy who wrote in his bio, will not date Scorpios.
A guy did
yeah,
that?
And
Well,
I
that
thought
guy's
he was
fucking
kidding.
stupid anyway.
So I messaged him, not even that I wanted him, but I was just curious if he was serious, and he blocked me. I was like, wow, okay, then I guess you're serious. But yeah, like a lot of people, like the last guy that I had a thing with, like anytime I'd do anything that was like bitchy or whatever, he'd be like, how fucking Scorpio of you.
See, I've never met a man that knows anything about Zodiac or like cares about it.
Oh yeah, like when I first started like hanging out with him, he was like, our like signs are zodiac soulmates. And I'm like, I'm gonna throw up on you right now if you say that again.
Yeah, I probably would have thrown up on it. But, I mean, just so many women are into that, then you just kind of be like, oh, really? Wow, that's so interesting.
I love it. I actually love astrology.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, not...
Amanda, you're just digging yourself into the deepest holes possible.
No, there's no coming back after this. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't, like, obsess over it, but I just like living on the internet and finding information, and I don't do religion or anything, so it's like I have to entertain myself with something stupid, and so
Yeah.
that's it.
I went on a date one time with a girl who was like super about, she had a blog about Zodiac stuff, and she like did a very in-depth character study of, she was like, well, what time of day were you born? Well, in what city? Blah 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 blah. And then we just kept going, and then got ghosted by her.
Damn.
Yeah.
She's like, it's not gonna work between us.
I mean, it probably wasn't gonna work anyway, because she seemed kind of like batshit crazy with how in depth the study was.
Wow.
But yeah, that was. I think she has a podcast now too, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll go be on hers.
Yeah. It just came from Joe's. He just kept calling me a terrible person.
Yeah.
For being late or whatever.
Fucking left.
Well, how long have you been on dating apps?
I think that I had this ex for a while, and then I took like a break from people in general for like a year or two, and then I got on dating apps because my stepmom is old as fuck, and she obviously won't hear this because she has no idea how to figure technology out. But yeah, she's really old, and she's always like, I'm so concerned you're 25 and don't have 2 kids and a husband yet. So
Old school.
Yeah, very old school. So she was like pressuring me to get on dating apps, and so I went on to, I think, OkCupid when I was, I'd say 4 years ago. Yeah, because I'm trying to think of the first people I met. Yeah, I think it was 4 years ago. And then...
do you have a favorite one?
App?
Yeah.
Or person?
App. You hate people.
I hate
there's
everyone.
There's no answer to who's your favorite person because you hate everyone. Everyone that you've ever met.
Every single person ever.
Have you ever met anybody from the dating apps? You're just like, no.
Fuck no. Fuck those apps. Yeah, I think that ideally I like Bumble because I like that not everyone can just talk to you.
Yeah.
But
yeah, OkCupid's like the Wild West where you can just fucking message anybody.
Yeah. And it's like, holy fuck, like, no. Where it's just like, I feel like it's like that, like, time of night where, like, drunk guys think that they could approach anyone because they're drunk and, like, they just think it's a smart idea. Where I feel like that's, like, OkCupid is, like, that in a dating app where everyone just thinks anyone's fair game. And it's like, the fuck? Like, no.
Yeah, I haven't been on OkCupid since I was, like, for probably 7 years or something like that. Yeah. I was on it when I first moved to New York 7 years ago, and then that's around when like Tinder and everything started to become popular, and that's when I started to get on that kind of shit.
Tinder is a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I think it's just because you have, it's like Bumble, but you have like triple the amount of people.
Well, I think it's the most popular one now.
Yeah, it is. And so it's just a lot of people. So I feel like Bumble, it's like less swiping to find someone you would want to match with, where Tinder, I think I counted once and I got to 300 with like left swipes with not a single right. And I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
But
have you ever used Hinge?
Mm-mm.
Well, I would generally recommend it if you were like looking to date somebody, but it seems like you just don't want to do that.
Doing great.
You know, dating is hard when you're not trying to meet anyone.
I know. And my stepmom's always like, well, have you found anyone? And I was like, no, I'm still single. And she's like, I just don't get it. And I'm like, I don't think that, like, I think it's like a choice at this point. Like, I really think, like, because even one of my friends recently was like, I'm actually shocked you're not in a relationship. I'm like, I'm not so shocked. But I guess, like, looking at my life and me, you would assume, like, I'd somehow pull something together. But, like, I don't know.
I mean, you're you're an active person. You go hiking all the time, and that's all your Instagram is, from what I've seen. And yeah, it seems like you do interesting shit. You've got a good job, from what you told me, and like, it seems like it wouldn't be hard for you to find somebody that you would want to date. But I think taking that first step is, I don't know. What's the longest relationship you've ever been in?
It's hard to say because towards the end it was very on and off, but I would say like a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah. But very like broken up in time. So it's hard to say.
Yeah. I've been in relationships like that where it's just like, yeah, we were together for like, I don't know, 2 years, but it was on and off for, months, so probably like a year and a half, actually.
Yeah, so in total, probably like 5 days, but...
Oh my God.
Spread out. No, I'm kidding.
It's the Scorpio guy that just like keeps messaging you.
Yeah.
So do you get a lot of Instagram DM slides? Because your Instagram is like, I know that you say that you got shadow banned from Instagram because you can't use hashtags anymore. And the picture that you showed me, that you were like, I think this is the one. It was just a picture of you in a bikini, and that doesn't seem like that crazy.
Yeah, I think it's a recent thing, though, because I used to post pictures way worse than that, and they were always fair game. But
yeah.
I think it's like something they started a few months ago where it's like things that technically don't violate their policies on posting, but they're going to pull it because it's like...
kind of like deplatform or something?
Yeah.
That's so bizarre.
But I do get a lot of messages on Instagram from people. Like, I had this guy, I think he lives in New Zealand. I don't really know. He did at the time, but this was like 2 years ago. And he just starts messaging me all this crazy shit, like sexual stuff. He sent me a video of him legitimately stripping. Like, yeah.
Just playing fucking Pony by Genuine.
Every time I see someone, like, a video where they're dancing, like, stripping a guy, in my head, I'm like, I can tell you what, like, song that is without even listening to it. Like, it's always that song.
It's always Pony.
But yeah.
That's the classic.
He was stripping, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I've never responded once to anything that made it seem like I wanted you to send that. Like, I was always like, okay, cool. Like, nothing that I was like, oh, please send me a picture of that dick. Like, I want it. And so he would send me these, like, graphic details of what he wants to do. He's going to come to California and do all this shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then he sends me this thing where he's like, oh, like, send me a picture that someone, like, not everyone would see on your Instagram. And so I sent him a picture of my feet covered in dirt. And I was like, I just thought you would want something a little more dirty. And he's like, you have really nice feet. I'd love to suck them. And I'm like, God. Oh, fuck.
It's Quentin Tarantino.
I was like, fuck, that backfired so fast. So then I think he got a girlfriend eventually. Like, we unfollowed each other. And so I just thought he was gone forever, whatever. I had Instagram down for, like, the last year and reactivated recently in, like, springtime. So anyways, last week, this guy, the same one, messages me. And I was like, how the fuck did I even show up on your feed? I haven't talked to you in 2 years from this date. So my, like, messages should be really down low in your inbox. I don't have hashtags.
Yeah.
We don't follow each other. So I'm like, how the fuck did I show up on your radar? And he was just like, oh, like, it's been a while since I've seen your ass. Oh, like, I thought he just meant, like, you, and that was, like, his way of saying.
It's been a while since I've seen your ass.
Yeah, and that's how I read it. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, send me a pic. I'm like, of what? He's like, your ass. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Did you ever send up a picture of your ass
No. What the fuck? But, yeah, that's just, like, so I was like, I have a boyfriend, so that's, like, highly inappropriate. I don't even have a boyfriend, but I was, like, trying to be nice. And he was like, oh, like, it's fine. It's just between us. It's not a big deal. I'm like, oh my fucking God.
Yeah, you're like sexual pen pals at that point.
Yeah.
You know, he's in New Zealand. You're out here in California.
Yeah. And so I took
anything goes.
I took a screenshot of the messages and posted them on my story. But I blocked all of his pictures out.
So nobody knew. You protected his innocence?
Yeah, and then I had like 10 responses from other guys that were like, please post this without his name covered. And I was like, what the fuck are you going to do? I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
It's
like,
all the other thirsty guys like just
I'll
eating
get him
each
for
other.
you. Yeah.
Crabs in a bucket.
Yeah. I was like, thanks, but it's all good, guys. Like, I can handle my own fights here. But I was just trying to send a message to the general public on my Instagram, like, please stop sending me these fucking messages.
Yeah.
And
so wait, when he sent you the strip video, did he get completely naked?
yeah.
Did he do like the meat spin bullshit?
It was so bad. Like, I was like, I had to watch because I was like, is he fucking serious? Like, is this happening? But yeah, he is a strange one. But he's blocked now, so he'll find me somehow, I'm sure.
Is that the most bizarre one that you've ever gotten? You getting anything like crazier? Or is it just a lot of dick pics?
I actually don't get dick pics. Like, nope. I don't think I've ever received one on Instagram.
You know what I think you should do? And I hate myself for suggesting this because I think it's like the most bullshit thing that women do, but it works, so who cares? You should make like an Amazon wish list and see if you can get the guys to buy your shit.
I was thinking of actually making a GoFundMe page.
Oh, God. Just like, hey, fund my general life, and you can see me go hiking in all these places.
Like, I'm poor and need a new bikini. Look at the one I have. It's not working.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we thought about it, but I think that is like the sure ticket to going straight to hell at that point.
Yeah, you really think so?
Probably not. I think
Yeah,
I'm
no, I
already
don't
going.
think so. Yeah, you're probably going.
I'm already there. Yeah, so you are encouraging me to make a wish list on Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, you already have all of these, it seems like, fans of yours. You might as well. You're never going to meet them. You have no intentions of meeting them. You have no intentions of meeting anybody off of Bumble. You might as well just be like, I don't want to say hooker because
Oh my God.
no, it's not a hooker because you're not actually doing anything. But I see so many people that have that kind of stuff. Like I know girls who are comics that have like quote, I guess like fans or whatever, and they'll post post their Venmo, and then people will send them a lot of money.
Really?
Yeah, and they're not even doing it. It's not like, hey, check out my exclusive premium content where they show like their titties or anything. It's just they're out living their life. Here's my Venmo, and people are sending them money. So maybe you can make a fucking side hustle doing that shit.
So I guess like, is Venmo safe though? Like there's no way of getting information from there?
I have no idea. I'm not a Venmo hooker. I don't know.
From your experience as a hooker on Venmo.
I don't know. I just Venmo.
I think it's sex worker though. I think that's like PC.
Sex worker?
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't really that PC.
Yeah, I just, you're
Been
gonna
saying.
get flagged by some PC people.
Oh my goodness. Oh well. If I do, that's fine.
It's gonna be that. That's what's gonna do it. Nothing
Yeah,
else
that's
about
gonna
what
be-
I'm saying.
That's gonna ruin me is saying hooker instead of sex worker. Well, you're not even sex working at that point because you're not doing anything sexual.
Exactly.
Can you be a prostitute without like sex?
I don't know what you would be at that point. Just a person
You're
who's
just
really smart.
you're just a bum.
Yeah.
You're a beggar. Yeah. Go on Instagram and be a beggar. Kind of like an internet panhandler.
I think that's what I'm gonna do. Whenever someone messages me, I'm just gonna send them my Venmo.
Do it. Yeah.
Be like, how badly do you want to talk to me?
I'm dead serious. You could probably make money doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's people that sell like their panties on eBay and they make fuckloads of money. You've done that, haven't you?
No.
You just like hung your head in shame as soon as I brought that
it's because
up.
I just did some research on that because I was like looking at ways to make money that are really weird.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of them. There's a really big market for used socks,
Oh, back to the feet fetish people.
used shoes,
What do you have? Big feet?
and no, just like standard. Like there are people who will like want you to do certain things in like a pair of shoes. Like, oh, I want you to like run so many miles. Like I want them to smell like kind of like neutral, really bad, awful. Like they request these things. And so they'll pay like a lot of money for someone's used shoes.
That's so wild to me.
And like also feet pictures.
Yeah.
I went onto Facebook and found these like private groups where you could find buyers for pictures. And I was like, I'm gonna sell pictures of my feet.
Yeah, that's like the lowest form of sex work, I feel like. It's just like there's not even...
Yeah.
I mean, but to somebody, it's the most sexy thing in the entire world.
Have
And that's
you met,
easy.
Have you met someone with a foot fetish? Unless you have
I
one,
don't
then
think so.
I'm not going to judge you. But no
But that's
judgment
just
here.
like also super easy. You could do that at home and get a printer and then just like, that's nothing.
Yeah.
And you can make a decent amount of money doing that.
I actually used to have a thing with a guy with a foot fetish, and instead of sending him like sexy pictures, I would send him pictures of my feet.
And he was just like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he loved it. Well, he said he did, but he seemed like he really loved it. So I have...
Did you ever give him a foot job?
Ew, fuck no.
I know, he's a foot fetishist.
I know. Look, I tried being open-minded with it, but I'm also very ticklish. So I was like, holy fuck, like, don't touch my feet, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'd send him pictures and he would like request like certain nail polish colors and stuff. And so now I have like all these pictures and like the archives of my photos. And I'm like, I could just sell these off at this point.
Yeah,
like,
you already have them.
Yeah.
Dude,
Like,
make a fucking business out of it. Do it.
yeah. I know. Like my friend is all into like some shady business on the internet. Well, probably not shady, but I think it is. So I'm sorry if you're listening to this. You know who you are. But yeah, so I like tried to like propose the idea to him and be like, I'll give you all the pictures and if you sell them, you can keep half of everything. But he didn't like look into it. So
You gotta look into it yourself.
I know. Then I'm gonna laugh at him when he's fucking poor still.
Yeah, and you're gonna be loaded off of foot money.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god. Yeah, you don't have to leave your house for that at all.
Right?
Just taking pictures of your feet. Dude, I wish maybe, you think gay guys are probably into that? I have huge fucking feet.
Yeah, there's a market for it.
I'm gonna do it then.
Just, yeah.
All right, I got a couple more questions here for you before we wrap the old podcast up. Unless do you have anything else that you wanted to say? Or do you have any, like a...
I don't think so. I'm sure there's plenty, but...
Yeah, that's what always happens. As soon as I stop recording, usually someone will be like, oh, fuck, I wanted to talk about this. And like that.
There'll have to be like a
Sucks.
part 2, 3, 4, 5, and on, and we'd still probably not cover most of my dating life.
Okay, so a couple more questions before we wrap it up. What's one thing that you would like to change about dating?
Wow.
It actually existing?
Yeah.
It's just
This whole concept of dating, I'm not sure I agree with it.
such an antisocial person.
I know. I think that it's not like it's consistent across like everywhere. And so I think that maybe in just like LA, like people play a lot of games. But I also, like you've said on other ones, where it's like dating apps have made it so it's like you have so many options. So it's like you don't even have to take someone seriously because you're like, oh, cool, like this is great. But like I have so many other people that I could just easily get on my phone. So
Yeah.
like maybe something better is there. So it's been great. I have a nice ghosting.
You can,
but...
oh my god, ghosting. Ugh. You can meet so many people. You can meet people like while you're taking a shit, just like swiping. You're like, oh, yeah, this is my next girlfriend. How did you meet? I was pooping.
I was just taking a shit and I found her and I knew I loved her.
Exactly.
Yeah, most of my friends actually only do it when they're like on the toilet. And I'm
It's
like,
the most convenient.
yeah. And I'm like, okay, like it's a really good story. Like I hope you guys are happy together.
Number 2. I met you doing number 2, but you're my number 1.
Always.
What do you think is the worst part about dating?
I think it's just like the investment. Not that I personally would know because I don't invest anything into it.
All. Yeah.
But I think like the investment of like maybe that's why is because you never know what you're gonna get out of it.
Yeah, getting your hopes up for something like that, and
Yeah.
then you get all happy and stoked about it, and then it's just like, oh, then you get ghosted. It's just like, fuck.
I think that's what happened to me is that I started out dating like after my ex, and I was like really buying into this whole dating scene, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna find the one and I'm gonna be so well behaved and treat them great. And I just kept getting fucked over because it's like the guys that I would attract were just like not emotionally available, or maybe they were just like emotionally shut off in general and that was just their temperament. But it was not working for me, and I was always just like, what the fuck? And so
now you're jaded and cynical and just like, fuck love, fuck dating.
Love,
Ugh.
fuck everyone. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of sad. I hope that changes for you. I hope that you just get like a little glimmer of hope at some point, you know?
I mean, I'm fine, obviously. I'm just sad, but that's all.
I'm just sad and lonely, but I don't want anyone to talk to me.
Oh my god. No, it's funny. Like, there's all this stuff. It's not just me. Like, if, like, the meme world has it, then it's a thing. And, like, there's all this stuff on the internet about how people are like, oh, like, I just want a guy who's gonna like give me attention and love me, and then like they're like, and then a guy gives you love and attention and you're like, oh, please don't talk to me.
Yeah. Just like, I'm just gonna stay home.
Yeah, no, it's okay, I don't want it now.
All right, last question before we wrap it all up, come to a big old conclusion, land and stick the landing or whatever. What's one piece of advice that you'd like to give people about dating?
I'm not sure that I'm in a position to give people advice.
I'm not either, but I have to ask. I feel like as I ask everybody. But might as well just like...
Please don't answer that question. Like,
look, I'm contractually obligated to ask you this question, but I know you don't have an answer for it.
Yeah. Do not practice by example, guys.
Yeah.
That is, like, don't do what I do. But also, just like... put yourselves out there and don't play games.
Don't play games.
Don't show up late. Don't flake. Don't ghost people. It sucks.
Don't do what Amanda does at all.
Yeah. Can I actually just tell you something really funny?
Yeah, sure.
So this guy once, I went on a date with him, and this was in the beginning when I was like hopeful for like online dating.
Mm-hmm.
And we had like a great date, but then he got like a little drunk and tried kissing me, and I was just like not feeling it that soon at the time. And then he like did this like weird thing where he like would talk to me, not talk to me for the next few days, and then he just like went MIA, and then randomly like texts me like 2 weeks later like, who's this? And I didn't even message him or anything. Like,
he just texted you? Who's this?
And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't even text you. Why are you asking? And I'm like, okay. And then, like, I respond. I'm like, are you stupid? And then a few weeks later, he sends me a ghost emoji. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then a year later, I rematch with this guy on a dating app. And then he was like, oh, like, I'm just sorry. I didn't know myself back then. Like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I fucking laughed. Like, I thought it was hilarious that you just did that. But then I was like, he was like, oh, like, I feel like we should try again. Like, let's text. I'm like, well, it seems like you like games. So why don't you find my number and text me yourself?
I was going to say, if this doesn't end with you getting his number and texting him, who's this?
Yeah. No. So he, like, within a minute after I sent that message on, I think it was Bumble, like, why don't you text me since you like games so much? And then he texted me, and it had been a year. And for someone who didn't know what my number was, like, you fucking texted me pretty fast, dumbass. And so, yeah.
So did you go out with him?
Fuck no. What the fuck? At that point, I just needed to, like, get the satisfaction of being like, you're a fucking idiot. And yeah, but that was, like, the best ghosting story I think I've ever had. Because I'm just like, he sent a fucking ghost emoji. Like, that is something special. I do not think he will ever hear this, but in hopes that he does, like, you are a fucking idiot. And I know I'm laughing because it's hilarious, but you're a fucking idiot.
All right. Well, Amanda, thank you for doing this. You want me to say your Instagram so people can...
I have it ready.
Yeah, I screenshotted it because you're like, I don't even know how to spell my Instagram.
Right?
So yeah. I have it ready. You want me to put it out there for people to follow you or get some more DM slides?
Right? Like self-promoting. Follow my Instagram, you guys.
Watch you get like fucking so many more strip videos. That's what I'm hoping for. I
hope, you guys, if you hear this and
you
male or female, I don't care. It's all welcome.
Send your stripping fucking videos to this Instagram handle.
I'm gonna have to like make it private and block everyone.
It's AmanduhBanana. So it's Amanda Banana. You can see all of her wonderful bikini pictures, all of her wonderful hiking pictures. Hopefully you'll be on the ground floor of the world's next top foot fetish model. So yeah, do that. Get your stripping songs ready. Only strip to Genuine.
Only.
Send them along to a man.
Do it.
All right, Amanda, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. Well, there you have it, everybody. Were you all as confused as I was? Because I still don't know what to make of this. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. I had a good time with Amanda. She's a sweetheart. I don't know. It seems like we all have some stuff to figure out. So hopefully she learned some stuff. Hopefully I learned some stuff. Hopefully everyone listening learned some stuff. Anyway, if you guys want to keep updated on the show, go to the website, www.datingishardcomedy.com. You want to follow the Instagram, it's @datingishardcomedy. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you follow me @JoeWelke. You can see when my shows are, all of my other crazy, ridiculous stuff that I am posting about constantly. You want to come to the live show, it's every fourth Wednesday at Pack Theater at 9:30. It's a by donation theater, so that means if you have some extra money to spare and can donate it to them and you really appreciate the work that they're doing, by all means, please do that. But if you can't, guess what? You're still invited to come to the show. Everybody still wants you to be there. You know what? Come, bring your friends. It'll be a great time. It'll be a super big blast. Anyway, yeah, if you guys could like and share and subscribe and leave 5-star reviews, that goes a long way into making this podcast something more legit than it already is, you know? It'll make it make iTunes and Spotify and all the other one, Google Play, Stitcher, all of those things. It'll make it seem like a more legitimate podcast, even though I'm just recording this out of my apartment and just getting the most random people, you know? I really enjoy doing this podcast, so I want other people to hear it. I hope that you guys do, to tell your friends to check it out and all that good stuff. I appreciate you listening. Thank you so much to everybody that's checking it out. I'm really loving doing this, and it means a lot to me that you guys are checking it out. So just wanted to say thank you. I appreciate you guys listening, and yeah, till next time. Later.